Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered. Good afternoon, everybody. We are here at Negotiating Happiness on the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. Everybody come grab your lunch, your coffee, and join us. We are pre-recording, so today is actually the 23rd, but this will air on the 27th because I am going on vacation and I just can't wait to tell everybody about it. So I am here today with Jenn Hudder from Honeyflow Coaching, and she is a business coach and entrepreneur extraordinaire. Hello, Jenn.
Hi.
How are you today?
I am well. It is a short week here in Canada, so it's feeling a little hectic, but also super productive and good.
That's great. That's great. I just wanted to do a little intro here. You've been on the show before, but I just wanted everybody to know that's new, that's just popping in. So Jenn here is the owner of Honeyflow Coaching, and she's come on the show previously, like I mentioned, and we spoke about overcoming fear and taking action to achieve success. And Jenn understands how daunting it can be to face hurdles in business and how that fear can ultimately stagnate growth, hold you back from achieving your deepest desires. Jenn has lots of experience, and we can always gain valuable insights into managing your business, achieving success, and balancing life as a mom, finding happiness along the way, and just pretty much going with the flow. Jenn, I feel like you're such a cool, calm, and collected entrepreneur that we need to learn all of your secrets on how to achieve this.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you haven't been on Jenn's website, I think you should go there. You'll learn lots more about her and what she does. But today we wanted to talk about our collaboration in our Facebook group that we started because we wanted other people to have what Jenn and I have in terms of, friendship and collaboration and just having that open channel of communication about business and business needs and struggles, but also celebrating successes. We wanted people to have that. So why don't we start off a little bit about Jenn, just tell us what you've got going on right now at Honeyflow, and then we'll go into kind of what we're doing together.
Sure. Yeah. So in my coaching practice, I work with women kind of in all stages of their business. So from kind of startup to scaling up and everywhere in between. And it is a privilege to work with them. And I do that through one-on-one coaching. So very personalized kind of direct coaching together. I have some group programs going on. I have resources and workbooks and that sort of thing on my website as well to help women, again, and make it accessible to get some help, because I have come to realize as now a solo entrepreneur or a solopreneur that sometimes it's like really easy to get inside of your own head, right? Like you're doing the thing. And in my past business, I always had business partners. So it was actually quite a contrast for me to figure out that there wasn't always somebody to pull into a boardroom or do a brainstorming session with, or talk strategy or work through a challenge. Those things you take it for granted when you have a business partner. And so I really enjoy working with solopreneurs and helping them and being that sounding board for them, helping them get outside of their own head and kind of figure things out and make progress a little bit quicker than when we get bogged down in kind of those weeds. That it's really easy to do when we're doing it on our own.
Yeah. And another thing that I really like about your practice is you're not the type of coach to do the whole, you're going to hit 6 figures in 7 short weeks on this program. It's not gimmicky, it's real, it's good advice, it's practical. And that's what you want to have in, that's who you want to have in your corner, right? You want to have somebody there. So while you may not be at the stage where you might need a coach or an OBM or whatever the case may be, we want to create this community, to have the opportunity to have these connections, and to be able to ask some some people think that their questions might be silly or over asked or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. We wanted to create this community where everybody felt comfortable to kind of put all those thoughts in. So,
and I think we are saturated with messages right now of everybody on, especially social media, making these grand promises because they're trying to get you to buy their offer, quite frankly. They're like 6 figures in 5 weeks and do this and magic formulas and whatever that is. And maybe, absolutely, for some people that's going to work. But for the vast majority of people, maybe 6 figures isn't the right number. Maybe it's 7 figures. Maybe it's your first 4 figures. That's all good. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You get to define success for what it looks like in your life at that moment. And maybe you can't dedicate the 70 hours that in theory it's going to take to hit that 6 figures in 5 weeks. Maybe that doesn't make sense in your life right now. So let's actually personalize the journey to be what you need it to be and serve you in the way it needs to serve you at this moment in your life.
Right. And that's such a great way of putting it. And also, I just wanted to highlight really quickly, if anybody wants to check out honeyfloaching.com, if you go to the resources page, Jenn has, I think, at least 3 free resources there where it can get you started. You can kind of dip your toes in if you're not really sure how to start, planning your business for, success or for vacation. I know we had a conversation actually earlier today about vacation, and it kind of did a 360 of, you have to be planning that into your entire business, and there's no way to separate as a business owner your life from your business life, like personal to business. And that's why boundaries are so important, because that's the only divider. But in reality, they work like this. They're intertwined, right? So yeah.
And you have to make it beautifully messy and make sense of it and work with it instead of against it, I think, is the key.
Yes, exactly. So that's, that's a perfect spot where you can kind of dip your toes in, where you can talk about, Jenn has a planner that you can use, and you've got your, I love the entrepreneurial style quiz, because it shows you kind of, is this what you actually thought you are, or you were going to be, or do you need to change some things in your business life? So this is perfect for planning, right? Perfect to do. And the find your pricing sweet spot. So the reason why that's also really important is because without the right pricing, you're going to be stuck working just like you were as an employee, right? Pricing is totally linked to mindset. So again, really great resources to start out with if you're not really sure where your business is going to go. And then Jenn has courses and workbooks and guides if you wanted to take your journey further. But I just wanted to highlight that this Facebook group is free, and it's just the perfect connection. Right now, I think we're sitting at about 75 members. And I just want to highlight, it is quality over quantity, because every single one of these members is a female entrepreneur. I don't think people understand quite yet the kind of connections they could make with 75 different businesses.
Yeah. And small enough that we get to actually have real conversations. And that was the hope, I think, of this, in that, again, saturated places. So we're trying to create real connections with people. So that is called the Female Solopreneur Collective on Facebook.
Yes, important, super important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually just gonna pull it up so that if you're watching the video of this, you can see. If you're listening to it after in the archives, I can describe it. I just wanted to kind of give people a sneak peek into it, but it's not letting me go there. So,
Of course.
so we also just had an office hour session. So in our office hour section, we talked about planning for vacation and kind of tips and tricks and, very practical things that you can do in order to be away for a long time. I'm going to be away for almost 3 weeks. And I have to say that was a huge goal of mine, partly because I was feeling so burnt out. So that's probably because of poor planning or not respecting my boundaries. So it's always a lesson or a journey in learning, right? But I definitely am so glad that I'm taking this step forward. Here, I'm just going to put it here on the screen.
Important, right? And it's very important, and something that usually we're like, yeah, we'll do it one day. We'll do it. We'll figure it out. Whatever the case may be. You have to make it happen.
Right. Totally. And here's the Female Solopreneur Collective. We're just on the Facebook page here. You can go right ahead and join if you type it in to search for it, or maybe just leave a comment and we'll give you the link directly, or send us a DM. We're always available to do that, no problem. And we have these office hours that go on all the time. We also have these open discussions in our posts about, platform and tech and what is something that you're struggling with. And also, please promote yourself. What kind of offers do you have? It's pretty open, and everybody's been so great at, highlighting, either their successes or issues, or just even, sending out their social links just to try and connect with people, which is great. And we have it's an open forum to ask questions. It's great.
Yeah.
There's our members posting what offers they have. It's great. It's absolutely great to be a part of a community that is so inviting. We're at the beginning, so we're in terms of engagement and the amount of events that we can offer people. So I'm super pumped because of that. The other thing here, there's Jenn's resource page. I just to kind of introduce this, Jenn. I don't know if you want to take it away from here. This is the Solopreneur Think Tank, which is our workshop that's coming up.
Yeah, so the Solopreneur Think Tank is, again, just out of this sense that it can be staring at that blank screen, blank page, whatever it is. You're like, oh, what am I going to do? Or how am I going to change it? Or I have these goals set and I really don't, what I'm doing isn't really working. It's not getting sticky. Or maybe I bit off more than I could chew last quarter. And so I didn't get anything done, whatever the case may be. But we had this idea of what would it look like to bring, 8 or 10 of us together in one physical space and do this together as 8 individual businesses, all working on their businesses that day, but collectively sharing ideas, brainstorming together, going through a facilitated process together, so that at the end of the day, you're walking away with like the plan in place to say like, yeah, I've got this plan for the next 90 days. I know how to execute it in my business. And I've bounced it around people. I've got feedback and input, and I poked holes at it, and I saw it in a way that I hadn't looked at this before. And so that is our hope with this event, is to create a quarterly planning kind of think tank workshop for a small group of women to work together and make things happen in a day.
Yeah, it's I think it's going to be great. I've spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs recently that are just, waiting for that kind of connection. And it's a push to start thinking about your development as a business seriously, right? So depending on what stage you're in, you could be in the beginning stages, you could be in the mid stages, you could have, experienced growth many, many times. I still think that there's so much value in having access to other entrepreneurs, seeing how they run their business, and also having access to us. Like, this is what we do for a living, right? So
Yeah.
we work with operations, we work with entrepreneurs to steer them in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
So whether it is some coaching time that you want, or some strategies on, how to deal with some of the issues that are coming up, or how to plan for the future, right? It's going to be right there. If you're
And
looking to,
I love this opportunity to collaborate with you, because together, when we get together in a room, it's really cool because we can go from strategy through to the nuts and bolts of execution, right? By drawing on
yes,
both of our individual skill sets. And every time we've done a workshop together, people are like, oh my gosh, what just happened there in that amount of time, right? Like, you just seamlessly took me through this process, and all of a sudden I'm leaving with this new kind of pep in my step, because I can see it. I know what it's supposed to be. I know it's how it's connected to a goal, and I know what I need to do to actually make that happen.
Right, exactly. I'm kind of the execution part of it, where we look at ways to save you time and money in order to achieve those big goals that you talk about in your business with Jenn. So again, and then you're going to have a panel of peers, or people that are either, ahead of you, or maybe a couple steps behind you, but implementing new ideas that you've never heard about. So I think there's value to be taken from that. Or maybe you want to pitch something new and you need some help doing it. I'm really excited though to take it, go back down, get granular, and let's rejig our schedule to fit us, where we can add development, where we can add client work, where we can add networking in there to try and grow our business, not just survive doing the projects, right?
Yeah. One of the things that we hear a lot in kind of all the spaces that you and I hang out together in is that it's really hard to get out of the like, oh, well, I have to create an invoice, and I have to do that, and I have to manually set this up, and I have to do this. Well, you don't, if we do the front end work that you're so great at, helping clients kind of figure out and get set up in their business. But when you free up that time, you have more time to think strategically. You have more time to create collaboration opportunities, networking opportunities, partnerships, new offers, open up different revenue streams, right? That is this part that oftentimes clients come to me struggling. I don't know how to find space to think this through. Or I have this idea, but I don't have time to like kind of flush it out.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you're still kind of like manually having to make all the back end stuff of your business happen, which also, I know we were talking about vacation as well. So true in vacation world as well, to say like, I can't leave my business. I can't do this.
Yeah, and you should be able to, like, if you've got your hand in absolutely every step of the process, it's a problem. It might be okay when it's just you and you're still figuring out your client load, but it's not going to be okay when you want to step away from it. And I've said this before, you're trading time, time for money, or money for time, depending on how you look at it. And you should really be trying to gain more time, because you can always make more money, but you can never get any of the time back. So if we can save you time by doing proper planning and helping you execute it, actually put it in place and follow through, that's what our goal is.
It's funny, I often have to remind clients that I'm pretty sure that they didn't get into business so that they could work 60, 70, 80 hours a week and never pick a vacation. That is not, for the most of us, it is not the reason we decided to get into it. It is so that we can do some of these amazing things, take our kids on trips that are important and build memories with them and create moments, whatever that is. If your business isn't serving you in the way that you originally kind of envisioned, it's time to just take a moment and be like, wait a second, what am I doing here? Shake it out a bit, right? And then put the things in place to get back in line with that version of how your business serves you, because that's what makes it sustainable.
There's so many reels, I think, on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot that are, I wanted to open up my own business so I can work less and work for myself, and jokes on me. I'm actually working double the time and I still feel like I don't work for myself, right? So that there is some truth to that for
There is,
sure.
but we also glorify it. And I don't think that that's healthy either, right? So
no.
I want to glorify the person that says, I actually work 4 days a week, make more money than I used to, vacation however many months or weeks a year or whatever that looks like, and never miss my kid's baseball game. For me, that is now how I've set up my business. But I used to glorify the fact that I was at the office running my tail off, feeling burnt out. It really was a mindset shift for me to be like, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this?
It's hustle culture. That's what it is. We were taught, that if you work hard, you can have whatever you want. And that's unfortunately not the case for everybody.
Yeah.
No. And it's the hustle culture. That's why it's okay you're working for yourself, so it's okay to do that. But is it? So my goal when I come back from this vacation is I'm going to make a segment. So one of the episodes is just going to be me with my travel videos, to be like, this is how I survived 3 weeks away from my business. My business is still thriving and I was still able to do XYZ. Beautiful. Have some visual representations,
Right? That's the goal. That's what I am after. That is what I am after.
Yes, I can't wait. And you're right. I love the idea that I can step away and still come back to a profitable business. I love the idea that I get to take my son with me and show him these places and be there for him. And when I come back, he's going to be going to soccer. So we just resume our natural, way of things. And I don't have to miss those things. And it's so important that we build that flexibility. And I had a client she was really good at this, where she worked, I think, 15 hours a week. So that's 3 hours a day. And she made a full-time salary of, over $100,000.
I remind people of that all the time. I'm like, are we working smarter, not harder, or are we working harder and not smarter?
Right. I really want to get away from this concept, but we tend to measure our success in business on an hourly basis. And as much as that is sometimes helpful in calculating costs of things, right? It's not helpful as business owners. It keeps us in the employee mindset, and it also keeps you stuck with your processes and your operations. I'm always open to helping clients figure out their services and plugging them into these systems for them to make it easier. So if I say, I'm not really sure why you're dedicating so much time into giving this to a client for this amount of money, when we could automate parts of this and then say, you've just saved yourself at least an hour or two, and an hour or two per day or per whatever, it adds up.
It matters.
It matters.
That's
it really does.
Meeting a goal and not meeting a goal.
Yeah, it matters.
Or up-leveling and not up-leveling. Like, things add up for sure.
An hour a day means 20 hours a month. 20 hours a month means over 140 a year. Yeah. 140. That's, oh my God, my brain is like, what's 3 weeks? 3 weeks. You could have 3 weeks off. Right? If you really want to start measuring things hourly, this is how you would do it. Right? You could have 3 weeks off that you just save yourself every year. Yeah, is that not what most people take for vacation? That's an hour a day.
Yeah. Yes. So let's fix
simple math. Yeah. Simple math. This is the kind of simple math that I want to bring into the think tank.
And sometimes
you were breaking up there. What did you say, Jen?
It means that somebody else needs to say it, right? Like before you can actually see it come out of whatever moment you're in and see that from a different perspective. But if somebody told me that by changing and saving 1 hour a day, I could find 3 weeks off or bonus or time to put to strategy, whatever that looks like for them, a year, it seems ridiculous that we're not doing that. The investment in automation and figuring out that part of your business pays dividends year in, year out.
It really does. We're having some technical difficulties as per usual. I'm hoping this will stream a little bit easier. Let's see. Is that working better? I think so. Yeah. This is literally what we deal with every day, right? Yeah, if people phrase it to you that way, then maybe you have a better chance of understanding what the investment looks like. And that's exactly what I want to bring into the workshop. This is why it's important to have a refresh on your calendar and your planning. When are your CEO days? You know, how are you saving yourself time and money? And who do you have working for you? Do we need to swap those resources around? Can we cut on some of the costs? It's not always about putting more resources in. It's about reallocating and doing the proper audits on your back end, for sure.
Making good decisions, right? Like, where am I investing money? Where am I investing time?
Yeah.
Sometimes the initial cost of something feels big. And I always challenge somebody to say, like, well, if you weren't doing this, for me, I'm considering getting some help with social media right now. As you know, we've been talking about it, and doing the same evaluation to say, well, if I make this investment, how much time will I save on the back end? And what is going to take me 2 hours to do will take an expert 30 minutes to do. So now I'm not like, I'm getting the impact and I'm getting 2 hours back and doing a better job of my social media. So we need to look at business that way. We need to look at how do we sit in our zone of genius as much as possible to get the best value and pump in the best value into our business, because the outputs will pay for themselves.
Yes. And it not only do you get that 2 hours back, and I'm not saying have 2 hours to relax, but it's about being in that zone of genius and about thinking of, you know, what's my next offer? How can I update my website, instead of being like, how can I make this call to action sound better? Is this a topic that I need to do? Like, yes, you should have your pillars. You should have prompts that, you know, indicate to your social media person, you know, how I want to present myself online. But the whole point is you don't have to do it. You can think about, who's your ideal client? How can you funnel this through this market or this particular, you know, demographic? That's what you should be thinking about, right?
Yeah. And especially I think when you are on your own, right? Like, again, in my past business, partners, team, staff, all of that stuff. So it was one thing to be like, here's the idea, who's got this, that's your skill set. Oh, you're a copywriter, you go do the copy, whatever. And off we go and all do it. And then all of a sudden you're on your own. You're like, oh shoot, I have to do copy. And okay, I'm not really a great copywriter. So now I'm like burning it harder. It kills your productivity and it kills your goals. So
also, for all of those people that copy is a great example of this. This is why I'm bringing it up. But for all of those people that want to use AI properly, I'm telling you from experience, it is not as easy as saying, hey, I need to redo my website copy, so I'm just going to plug it into ChatGPT and it will spit out for me exactly it. Do you know what ChatGPT is really good at? ChatGPT is really good at condensing or regurgitating the same information in a different way, but you have to provide it with that information. If you're just giving it, you know, a skeleton idea with no meat on it, it's going to produce very little meat, very little quality for you. So,
right?
But if you invest where you're supposed to, AI is definitely helpful, and you can tweak it. You can give it the right information, and you can use those 2 hours that you just saved with these new platforms to basically create work that would have taken you 8 hours, a full day.
Right.
That's where you really gain back, because you're the thinker now. You're no longer the doer of everything. So you've freed your brain to be the thinker.
Yeah. And you need to be in that space as a business owner. the majority of your time needs to be spent in thinking and strategizing. And if it's flipped, that is like a big flag that you are going to get stuck. You're going to reach a ceiling really quickly, and it's going to be really hard to break through it.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is going to be great conversation for our think tank on June 26th. And I think a lot of people will be able to resonate with what we're saying, and, giving them tips on how to use these platforms better and how they can save so much time. If anybody gave me this maybe like 6 to 10 years ago when I was working in law, I think I would have been even more productive than what I was as an employee, and it would have made my life a lot easier. But I always think about hindsight, right? So I just wasn't ready, or it wasn't the same mindset. But now, having done this for a couple of years, everything is so clear for me. And I understand, talking to other people, that it's not very clear for them. So this is a perfect environment where you can ask these questions that seem like, they're the most overwhelming thing in the world, or they're very complicated, and we can just untangle everything for you. Or your peers could very well say, oh, that's easy. I did this and this, and then I never had to do it again. And you could see the person's face go, oh, and it's like, oh, weight lifted, right?
Yeah, and it's just like, you don't know what you don't know. And just sometimes you can't see past the end of your nose because you're so in it. And all it takes is one person to offer up a suggestion or a past experience, or like, oh, I did that, or I struggled and here's how I came out of that.
Yeah.
Changes the whole trajectory for somebody.
Yeah. And it's also partly networking, right? We, you don't know who these business owners might know. You don't know who's looking for collaboration. You don't know who just wants to have a cup of coffee with you every so often, right? So I think it's a great opportunity, especially now that we're going back to more in-person events. I do miss that. I'm a very social person, and I have to say that we've had people that would not describe themselves as social people or extroverted that still enjoyed having these meetups because there's a lot of topics in common, right? So even though we might have different personalities, at the end of the day, we are go-getters, we get things done, we run businesses, we have staff, and I think it's something wonderful to connect over.
And I think you're right. It's the connection that we share, and these women share, in that they are in the same, they're walking down the same path in the same kind of shoes. And I can tell you, for almost being an entrepreneur now for almost 2 decades, I can talk to my husband about things going on, or stresses that I'm feeling, or challenges I'm trying to overcome, or creating an idea to like increase sales, whatever. And God love him, but he's like, I support you, and I have no idea how to contribute productively to this conversation, because he's just not in that same space. He just doesn't get it. And friends as well, right? If they kind of still work in that corporate space, totally supportive. But there is something about getting in a space and being able to completely what's the word, empathize, or see yourself in what's going on with other people.
Yeah,
there's something special about that, and energy created in real life spaces that
I think so. And
wow. Yeah,
totally. We're just going to do a quick station ID, and we're going to continue our conversation. If you're just tuning in, you are listening to Negotiating Happiness, and we are airing a recording live on the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 105.3 and 107.7 FM in the beautiful city of New Orleans. If you wanted to sit back and watch some of our shows, just remember you can do so on Roku. You just have to type in I think it's just UFO Paranormal for the channel, but yeah, check us out on there as well. If you are listening to this on an archive and not live, feel free to contact us if you wanted to have a chat or understand a little bit better about what we're talking about planning, because we always want to hear from you guys. And I'm here with Jenn Hudder from Honeyflow Coaching, and we're talking about business planning and about this wonderful community that we're trying to build, which is the Female Solopreneur Collective on Facebook. It's free to join. And we're talking about the benefits of having these gatherings or having an event on June 26th in Dundas, Ontario. That's in Canada. For all of our American friends that are listening, if you are an entrepreneur, you are a female entrepreneur, you are welcome and invited to join the Female Solopreneur Collective on Facebook, because we do have live events as well online where we hold office hours and we can discuss very similar things that we would do in person as well. And you never know, one day maybe we'll have a retreat down in the States. Yeah, I mean, California sounds great.
Right? Oh yeah, sign me up for that. We've also talked about doing this quarterly planning session. We could do a virtual one as well, right? Like, we've got the tools in place. So
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm just excited. So the think tank is coming up, and we've got this wonderful office space. We're going to have lunch. We're going to network. We're going to laugh. I'm sure we're going to laugh because we are funny people. Okay. And you don't want to miss it. We are, and we're down to earth and we're cool. So obviously you don't want to miss it, but also more importantly, we work with business owners daily. So we have the understanding of, people go up and down, they need help, we're there to help. And we go through the same issues, right? We speak from a place of personal experience as well. Especially Jenn. Jenn started out her marketing agency from scratch, built it up, and she brings that experience to this whole new avenue of coaching and helping small businesses get to that same point. So I think there's a wealth of experience.
Hopefully more successfully than I did. That is my goal, is to help people create businesses that they love, that are sustainable, and that, as I say, love them right back. Because it's not helpful to build a business that on paper looks great but is killing you, and that is it's not healthy and it's not great. So my goal is to help you create something that serves both of those things.
I think so. And it kind of brings more validity to the whole, you should be running the business shouldn't be running you. And that's kind of what brings us to our other topic that we had, because I'm going on vacation. This episode will air while I'm probably boarding a flight. Or getting ready to anyway in Eastern time. And I wanted to share, we shared some of these in our group today, to share some practical steps of how to handle going on vacation or for an extended period of time, or even staycation, just kind of stepping away from your business in general. And the first thing that I wanted to ask you, Jenn, is that you have more knowledge on this. Is, for me, I was under the idea of, I'm managing client expectations in my own way, but I want to hear from you on how we can effectively do that. As a business coach, you probably have a lot more insight into it than I do.
Yeah. Well, and this is a conversation that comes up with a lot of my clients, because they are either, they kind of booked a vacation and then are settling into the reality of like, oh shoot, how am I actually going to do this? Or they're thinking about it, but also just throw it off the table thinking they can't. That, again, that's a business that's not serving you. So let's figure that out. In my perspective, I think early communication with clients is so key. Setting the expectation, being like, hey, I booked a vacation and we have a relationship in place now. You're my client, and I'm sure you're excited for me. First of all, I think we make up a lot of stories in our own head, don't we? Like, oh, they're going to be so upset. They won't be able to get along without me. It means that we just create stories. That's not necessarily true. From your perspective, when you let your clients know that you're heading out on vacation, I'm guessing the majority of them are like, that's awesome, Adriana. Like, that's awesome. What are you doing? Where are you going? I'm excited for you. So come to it from that place, assuming that they're going to be excited for you. But give them some lead time. Let them know what the plans are. But also come from a place of like, okay, so that's the reality, but that doesn't mean that I'm not there to serve you. Let's just build a plan. Let's build out the timelines so that I can wrap things up for you, so you're well taken care of while I'm away. So build those expectations, put things in the calendar, have conversations. Communication is always so key in business, but especially I think in this case when you're planning on going on vacation, for sure.
Yeah, and I think I do most of that. And I also add my vacation to their calendar with a
Yeah.
small note that says Adriana is off, but Rachel is here to check emails
Right.
intermittently, so it
Which is
also
also
gives
a
them a
good point.
reminder.
Yeah,
It
and have a
also,
backup person, right?
yeah,
And that may be somebody that's on staff, but maybe not. For a lot of us, especially if you're out
yeah,
on your own, that may not be. It could look like a virtual assistant. It could look like you just have a business buddy that is complimentary and can kind of keep an eye on
yeah,
things that are going on. I mean, you and I would be great in that perspective to say like, hey, I got you covered. You got me covered. It's good. It's
yeah,
good. I feel that kind of way about dog sitting when we're away. Like, hey, you got your pup for the week while you're away. Can we do a
yeah,
trade-off? It's all good.
yeah,
But we want to help each other, right? So there's have a backup.
yeah.
Not that they're going to be in your business operating it fully like you would, but they're checking in on things. It allows you to go on vacation and actually detach and know that things are okay.
Yes. Yes. And they don't have to know your business inside out. The way that I get around that kind of a thing is I try to anticipate. So now, having worked with retainer clients since basically the day I started, I will go in and record a loom. Looms are really good at capturing exactly the essence of the urgency, or if of the your tone. Your tone matters when
Yeah,
your VA is trying to figure out what's urgent, what's important, what
sure.
is both, and what is something that we can just put off for a while. So I'll do a loom and
And
say,
may I just add that doing a loom
yeah,
is so much quicker because of the visual. You can go back and repeat it.
yes,
And typing out the level of detail that you would want, the instructions, right, is like
yeah,
you so much longer than just
right.
doing the action and recording it.
Like a 4 or 5 minute loom, no problem. And
Yeah,
she's going to see what each client profile looks like, where all of their links are, their passwords, things that, hey, just so you know, sometimes we'll get emails where they'll want this, this, and this. Here's where you find it. This, and this. Here's where you find it. Everything else can wait or can be
right.
put in my calendar. Or so in 4 minutes, I've given her an overview of what this retainer means and how we act towards it, and what the level of service is, and what some of the problems or issues might be, or that might come up when you're away. The other thing that I do is I will put in email rules. So if these retainer clients have requests, because when I say retainer, the understanding is that you're providing them a continuous service throughout the month. They are people too, though, and they're very excited for me to go on vacation. So they understand that it's not going to be the same level of service. So I think this goes with your whole, we're making stories up in our heads that are just simply not it. They understand, they like working with us, so they'll be happy for me. And I come back refreshed when I, come back from holiday. So just to go back, these retainer clients, the emails will automatically just get put in a folder. So when I'm checking emails, like maybe once or twice a week, they're all in that folder. And then also you set the expectation, hey, I might not have service all the time, so you'll hear from me, but you're not going to hear from me right away. You're going to hear from me on Wednesdays and Fridays, or whatever the case may be. It allows you to not get lost in a sea of emails. So you just go directly to that folder and just read for your retainer clients. Then I just do a skim of, okay, no fires. All right, back off my phone, right? So
And part
I'm
of
not.
that, I was having this conversation earlier this week as well. It's like the question of like, do I take the laptop? Do I take the iPad? Do I not? Do I take it? Because if I take it, then I'm going to be on it, and then I'm going to get in the cycle of it. I would actually say that is, you have to have the self-discipline to say like, hey, I'm going to set a 10 minutes a morning before I head out for breakfast. I'm going to do a quick scan. I'm going to deal with any of the urgent things. and then I'm going to put the laptop away. If you choose to do that, I don't think
Yeah.
you need to, but if that makes you feel good, but that's on you. That's on you to have the self-discipline to say, like, 10, 15 minutes is what I'm giving it a day. I can manage that. And it's a beautiful thing when we put deadlines on ourselves. We usually meet them. You automatically prioritize to say, like, if I only have 15 minutes, what's going to be dealt with here? And the rest can stay until tomorrow, or whatever the case may be. But that's a self-discipline thing as well.
Yes.
So take the laptop if it feels like it's going to serve you, but honor yourself, honor your family, honor your friends, or whoever you're going with, and stick to the time boundaries that you're giving it.
Yeah, totally. And another way that could help to take away from all of these things that all of a sudden become your to-do list is to automate a lot of it. So I always give the example of the client experience or the lead experience, right? When you receive leads through your website, by the time that I have to do anything with them, they would have probably received 2 emails, a scheduling link for an appointment, and a request for information. So on their end, their emails are being read, we're requesting more information. So you're providing them with the opportunity to send us that. Then they're saying, okay, I know you're on vacation because of my email, but someone's reading it and they're also, providing me with a link. But in reality, it's the automation, it's nurturing that connection right away. And I don't get to touch that until, I can read the form to make sure that they're a good fit or not, right? And I'll approve it in my workflow. That's a button. It's a one click. That is it. I'm not doing anything else, right? And then when I come back, it's scheduled for a decent time because my scheduler was also updated. Again, This is all part of biz planning. This should be happening regardless if you're going on vacation or not, right? Yeah. And if you've got a client that is through the journey, obviously plan well. I don't have any new projects starting while I'm away, but if there's any questions from, previous projects or my retainer clients, that's when I get to decide, right? In those 10 minutes a day that I read emails, I can answer a question or two. If it can wait, they would have already gotten auto respond email. So they know I'm on vacation, even though I probably told everybody by now. Right. So it's all about,
but here's
planning
the thing
for the things you can control.
Adriana, when you speak about those things, and you're like, yeah, of course, I'm going to set up a journey. I'm going to do this. And then this happens. I click a button. And that to you is totally second nature. And I'm like, yeah, in theory, that's amazing. And I feel like I'm going to that's going to take me a lot of work and figuring out and understanding how systems work. And I'm like, I'd rather not. I'll just deal with the manual part. And that is the difference. That's how you want to bring on supports, to say, like, that investment of, let's say it's an OBM like Adriana that just is well versed in this stuff. I am not. I get it in theory, not in practice. But gosh, spending the time and money to figure that out and do that chunk of time and investment upfront it pays dividends for years in your years in your business. Not only when you're on vacation, but when you want to take an extra long weekend, when your kid has a dentist appointment and you kind of need to, like, get out of there early on an afternoon and the lead comes in, that serves you every single day in your business. And even if you're sitting in your office and the lead comes in, it still means that you don't need to drop everything, right? Distraction, hello, because you need to address that. You're not sitting there responding right away. You're like, that's amazing. And I know it's taken care of. I'm back on task over here.
Yeah. And in theory, if you have to have a discovery call, let's say it's something you just can't pass up, and it's in one of those days that you said you're going to be present, great. In theory, you have your proposal already set up so that all you have to do is click a package or two to select and then click send to client. But for them, if you look at it from their perspective, they sent in an inquiry, they got an email back saying that you're not quite here, but you're getting information. You also booked something in their calendar. So you're being taken care of at every step. You spoke to them for half an hour. you understand, you like their vibe, you want to go forward, and you received a proposal, but in reality, all I did is maybe click 3 things.
Yeah. And here's the thing. If somebody does not react well and they're like, well, I need to have a meeting with you or a call with you in the next 48 hours, is that really the client you want anyway?
No.
Somebody that is that demanding and that like it is about me? Probably not.
It's never going to work because you are not an employee. You don't only answer to one person. First of all, you answer to yourself and to the degree of commitment that you have to your clients. So 100%, Jen, that is not somebody that you'd want to work with anyway. I think all they would do is just bring you more headaches. And I don't think the money would be worth it in the end. However, I get it. When you're first starting out, I get it. You can't turn work down. You got to hustle. You just have to make it work for yourself. But there is a breaking point where they're doing exactly that, where you're asking yourself, this is not worth it. Or
there's good things on the other side. We promise.
Yes, there is another side, and it's very freeing. And that's when you know you've kind of bumped in your first growth spurt, right?
Yeah. So, and here's the other reality is that usually, for the most part, we're going on a week of vacation, maybe 2 weeks. In your case, it's a big trip. You're going on 3 weeks, which is amazing. And when we think about 3 weeks, we go, that's 21 days. In reality, it's actually 15 working days, business days, right? If it's a week, it's not 7 days. In the client line, it's 5 days.
Yeah.
We have to remember those things because, again, and that is only if somebody contacts you on the Monday and you're not serving them until that when you get back. In theory, if somebody emails you on, let's say you're gone for a proper week, and somebody emails you on the Thursday, you're probably going to be back to them on the Monday, Tuesday, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Which speaks to, you and I were chatting about earlier, this kind of like creating a on-ramp and off-ramp for your vacation. This is also really important because sometimes we just think about those like days of vacation, those like I am not here days, but it's also important to actually think about your schedule in terms of an on-ramp to vacation and an off-ramp. So we all know the week before vacation is there comes a point where you're like, why am I even doing this? It's crazy and I'm so busy and I have to run out and do this last minute errand that I didn't think about. So just plan for it. Just plan for it. Time in your schedule. And when you get back, create a soft like an on-ramp to say like, hey, I know the first day back. I just want to make sure I'm serving my email and getting it back to everybody and making sure that that's cleaned up and ready to go. So I'm not going to book meetings on that first day back. I'll start them on the second day back or whatever the case may be.
Right. And it's so important because even with me planning all of my appointments, or meetings ahead, right? Again, personal life with professional life, kind of touching and going. A month and a half in advance, I laughed because you were talking about last minute things. I realized that I can't find any of my flip-flops since I've moved. So I had to run to Old Navy and I bought $3 flip-flops, but that's not even irrelevant. It's just, it took me longer to just drive there and get them.
That is the live human experience is that you'll forget that your flip-flops got tossed out at the end of last summer or that your kid needs it, probably should have a haircut before they go or whatever the case may be. Just create space. It's messy. And that is kind of the entrepreneurial experience is that you don't just deal with business from 9 to 5, right? We think about our business after 5 in the evening or whatever the case may be. And we have to expect the same or learn how to dance and bring life into it as well. And I say balance is unattainable and you're setting yourself up for failure. But let's think about it more as harmony. Let's create this entrepreneurial harmony. I actually just wrote a blog post about it this week. Like I published it yesterday, I think. But this idea of let's frame out what harmony looks like, because harmony, sign me up for that. That's got a rhythm and an ebb and flow, and vacation's a really good way of thinking about that. There will be times where you need to pop out and grab flip-flops, and there will be times on vacation that maybe you need to check your email for those 5 minutes. that's the harmony.
Yeah. And you know, we touched upon the ramp before, but the ramp after, obviously don't plan your events the day after you come back. When you come back to 200 emails, make space for that. So don't just hold in the anxiety of like, oh, I hate coming back from vacation because I'm going to have so many emails. Okay, fine, but make space for it and then let it go in there. So don't think about it for the rest of your vacation. Yeah, it's part of the process. If you've made space for it, then you can safely allow it to just sit there until you get to it, right? So this is really good practical advice with scheduling links. I have different scheduling links.
If you have done a great job at having those conversations early, serving people ahead of time, getting proactive about it, your inbox will not be terrible on the other side, because they know. They're like, oh yeah, Adriana's back next week. We'll talk to her then, or whatever. Or it may be like, I'm sending you this email. I don't expect you to respond to it. I'm just popping it in so it's in your, realm of thinking. That's all good. Yeah. You're doing yourself a favor to have those conversations up front all day long. Do it, repeat it, be the broken record, but from a place of let me serve you. I want to help you ahead of time so that we're all in a good spot. I get to leave for vacation feeling good. You are taken care of, and you know that, and I know that, and we're going to get back, and it won't be a fire. It's great.
Yeah.
Good all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, there's just little things that you can plan for, but people don't think about them until the end. This is why I think the think tank is going to be a perfect opportunity for us to sit down and plan for the quarter, and not only plan our work, but plan our life, because that will impact, especially with summer. You want to take some long weekends. You want to take a random day off to do whatever. I remember somebody used to put in, I think it was Wednesday afternoons, they would block it off because they would fit all of their appointments on there. So she was just never working on a Wednesday afternoon. She was, don't get me wrong, she's doing other things, but that was her space that she saved in the week to be able to have those doctor appointments that only work between 9 to 5, right? Or groceries, or, whatever
That's
appointment
why I
you need
set up
to.
my business. I reverse engineered it because, coming from a place of not, well, let's call it burnout, because that's probably what it was. And I was like, if I'm going to do this again, how do I not end up in this same destination? And I just reverse engineered it. So what does a good week look like for me? Both of my boys play competitive baseball, which means they're on travel teams, which means Fridays in the summer months are usually like busy with other things in my life. So I don't take clients after 10:30 on a Friday. I do my groceries on a Monday because I don't want to be there on the weekend. I want to hang out with senior citizens and me on Monday doing groceries, not getting stressed out, not feeling angry and ragey. I just built my weeks that way. I usually client sessions wrap up by 3 p.m. That means I'm present for when my kids show up at home after school. I sit down and talk to them for a few minutes. It doesn't mean that I don't come back and do work on my business for a little bit, but that space can ebb and flow. It means I can take him to work when he's got an early shift, whatever the case may be.
That's great.
Work your business backwards.
That's great. That's exactly what you want. So, well, I can't believe an hour has flown by. I'm really excited for this event for when I come back. And there are only 8 spots available. So
actually, Adriana, there's 7 spots. There's 7 spots.
Oh no, there's 7 spots now.
I just got taken. So yes.
Amazing. I've got a few emails going out for personal invites. I would love to see some of the entrepreneurs that I've connected with in the past couple of months, because they're amazing. I think they'd be a really good fit. And I can't wait for this. And thank you so much for coming on again.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're always a wealth of knowledge, so I appreciate it. And the last question, Jenn, tell me about your travel plans. What are you doing? What are you doing?
We are in summer mode. So as I said, pretty
baseball.
Much one of my weekends is baseball. I'm seeing very vast areas of Ontario and the United States this summer, which is okay. and it's with my boys, and
Yeah.
that time is limited, so I will take road trips with them any day, and that's cool. But we actually have a beach vacation planned for later in the fall. I am very, very excited for when there is nothing to do, but just relax and be together as a family. We decided to do it as a family vacation. My boys are getting older, so I feel that window of time of family vacations will transform soon enough. So just indulging in that, and I'm so excited about it.
That's so important, because I remember seeing this and it made me very sad to think about, but it put things into perspective for me. You only have your kids for 18 summers, really.
I know.
So
having a 17-year-old right now, I think about it every single day of my life. I do. So I'm just being present and in the moment, and understanding how my business serves that, because there will always be a time to work more.
Yeah.
There will be a season for that. And right now my season is like work hard and show up for my kids, because I can do that.
That's amazing. Well, I hope you have a wonderful summer with baseball. I do love that. You guys are so busy. Yeah, but it's so fun, and they're always going to remember this, Jenn. They're always going to remember you being there for them, and I think that's the best part of all of this. So
exactly, I will have no regrets.
Exactly. Again, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you to everybody who's tuning into the show. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave some comments. We're going to go back, and I think we get notifications. If you're on the station website or Facebook and leaving comments, feel free to contact me directly, either on Instagram or at assistant.ontario, or you can contact Jenn at Honeyflow Coaching on Instagram as well. If you have questions, please don't hesitate. And if you're interested in joining our free Facebook group, it's called the Female Solopreneur Collective. Please join us. And thank you to everyone at the United Public Radio Network for the platform, and UFO Paranormal Radio Network. We appreciate having this platform, and join us next week as well. And I promise you guys, I'm going to take some footage in Croatia and Romania during my trip, and maybe we can feature some nuggets of wisdom from entrepreneurs overseas. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later.